Can you already name the company?
No, that's too. That would be too
classified.
Welcome to the Unknown series, where every week we dive into the unknown world of innovation and venturing. This week we put a spotlight on the Ministry of Defense. So on my left, Fons, Innovation Manager at Ministry of Defense. Welcome here. On my right, Tom, my sidekick and colleague. Also good that you're here. Welcome.
Thank you.
Fons, innovation at the Ministry of Defense. What are the trends that maybe you personally are following closely, or maybe as a whole organization?
You can look at this at different angles. But one is that we are adding a new area to our portfolio. It's space. And the nice thing now is that we're starting off from scratch, from zero with space. So this is one of the opportunities to do it in a completely new way. So that's what we're in an accelerator also now as Ministry of Defense, and we're setting it up from scratch. So the idea also there is, let's look at it at a 21st century approach immediately. When you talk about the old systems and the old organizations, it'll take more time to make these changes. But we had many small results already, I would say, throughout these 13 centers. But it's not completely into the DNA of the organization yet. So we're still growing and we're getting there. And you see also it's also the change of young officers who really embrace it and so forth. So step by step, it's a 60,000 people organization. It takes a bit of time.
Yeah, and talking about collaboration, I think the Netherlands, part of the NATO, also hosted this spring, the NATO Innovation Challenge. Can you tell something about that?
Yeah, sure. The NATO Innovation Challenge is actually has been organized for the 6th time now, and it's every time another country. And then Holland actually raised their hand and said, okay, this time we'd like to do it. So this spring, we are a host nation, which basically means that the concept comes from NATO Innovation Hub in Norfolk in Virginia. So it's part of the NATO Allied Transformation Command, and it was up to us to do something with it. Now, what happened, of course, was Corona or COVID-19, and that changed the whole story to a certain extent. There was one thing I wanted to change as from the beginning, is that in the former episodes, I would say, of the NATO Innovation Challenge, they worked from one central database, which was built up gradually over the years. And I wanted to see whether we could actually go into a new world of startups and scale-ups outside of the known defense world. And the second thing was, of course, because of COVID-19, we had to change our approach because we couldn't make it a big physical meeting, a meetup, which was planned in Rotterdam. So we had to do something else. And the third thing is that because of COVID-19, 2 weeks before the call opened, we had the theme was urban crisis. We made it pandemic urban crisis. And that was kind of an opportunistic call, but it really had its effect.
It was very accurate. And to go into that theme, because I think in a few minutes we're going to see two of the kind of the winners and also what their solution is. What was kind of the challenge? What was the theme that you were looking for?
Yeah, so the idea was pandemic urban crisis, and basically it had two goals here. One was, how can we help leaders, commanders, actually to get a full view of the situation at hand, and also not only looking what is happening in every part of the city, for instance, but also how to disseminate between false and true information, but also how to get special teams fast into certain areas of a crisis. For instance, also when you have to bring people or material there and you can't use a helicopter. Yep. Now, this whole idea of how to handle both from a commander's view as from a first responder's view a crisis, that was actually the call. That's a scenario which we actually described, and we asked for solutions. And now, well, in the last we had 5 NATO Innovation Challenges. We had around 10 to maximum 50 solutions. and we got 167. So
Must have had a good partner there.
That was a very good. That was a It was, the theme was good, the timing was good, and it was also the approach we took. I think getting broader into the market with the idea, and and it got a lot of response.
Yeah, cool. And you ended up with 10 finalists.
Yeah.
They all made their own video that was spreaded via all the channels to everybody to also vote for the finalists. Eventually, there was an audience award of one of the startups. Maybe we can take a look at the video first, and then let's see what they were actually doing.
Yeah.
COVID-19 hit us all by surprise, but it has also shown the power of humanity. A global community stood up to fight the virus shoulder by shoulder.
However, on a technical level, people still struggle to collaborate. Scattered initiatives and a lack of standards has led to a lot of lost potential.
We are Maaike and Jeroen from Team COVID Warriors, and we are passionate about data. Drawing lessons from the military, we invented a common data platform on which people and organizations come together to combat disease.
It provides real-time data exchange between healthcare workers, politicians, scientists, and crisis response teams. Everybody can build their own forecast and dashboards for a variety of use cases, like the allocation of medical supplies and ventilators.
Fighting disease is like fighting a war. Information is key. Information sharing leads to shared situational awareness, which leads to aligned decisions, which ultimately leads to victory.
Our solution allows just that. Spread information, not disease. Vote for us. Together we can stop the next outbreak.
And voting they did. So they eventually won the People Award, the Audience Award. What can you or the NATO or the Ministry of Defense do with them? What can they do with you?
A couple of things. First of all, the idea of the public award was also a new element in this time, the NATO Innovation Challenge. We didn't have that before, but we thought, in working together also, that bringing that element in there, especially starting it already, a week before, it would actually enhance also the public awareness. And that's, of course, one of the goals of the NATO Innovation Challenge is actually making the world aware of the fact that we're looking for new innovations. Now, then the second thing is that in the past you had 10 winners within, say, 50 or 40 solutions. Now we had the top 10 from 167. So it means that there is even much more potential in that whole list of 167. So the top 10 is really the top 10. Now with Actual Linkit, their solution came out as the public award winner. We're actually tomorrow. We're actually having an online demo with the whole group of innovation people from the armed forces from different sites. That's tomorrow afternoon, and then in September we have a physical event with them again, where we will sit together with the experts from Army, Navy, and also from counter hybrid and so forth, but also the people from the Medic Corps. Who are in charge of everything. Well, they supported a lot the Dutch government during the COVID-19 crisis. Mm-hmm. To work together with them to see whether this solution could be applied within the Dutch armed forces. NATO Innovation Hub in Norfolk is doing the same. For instance, there in September we will have a field exercise, as they call it, where 47 of the solutions on fake and true and false news will be tested against each other. So we'll have cases and we'll test every solution on those cases.
Validated.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
those 47, they come from the 167 applications.
Yes.
Cool.
So it's not only the 10 finalists where there is a follow-up.
No, we look at all of them.
That's
so
fantastic.
what we do is basically we give the winners, we give most attention, so they get first seats. But the whole database of 167 is now on our SharePoint site internally. Yeah. And all those 13 centers I mentioned, they're all looking at the 167. So they review it again. And of course, we'll work on the top 10. I know that from one company in the top 10, we already bought the product last week. We already did a procurement. So it can go very fast.
Yep.
Can you already name the company?
No, that would be too
classified.
Yeah.
It's the first classified we have today. Yeah. So we just saw Actual Linkit. The audience voted for them. Let's now take a look at the company that kind of you guys picked yourself as the winner.
My name is John D. McHugh, and I'm the co-founder of Verify Media. Our company has developed technology to verify photos and videos in real time, filtering misinformation and disinformation. I'm originally a journalist, and I spent almost a decade covering the NATO mission in Afghanistan. I saw firsthand the challenge of analysing intelligence in fast-moving situations, and I saw the cost of getting it wrong. The single biggest problem with using eyewitness videos and photos is verification. Is it true or is it false? Traditional verification is manual, slow and inconsistent, which is why we've automated the process, applying digital forensics to deliver rapid, reliable results. Quite simply, Verify Media was born on the battlefield, and we are proud to present our solution for NATO's assessment.
Yeah, so the big question, why did they win?
Well, I think I was not in the jury, so I cannot tell what the jury thought and discussed, but I can imagine two things. One, it was born, the idea with a journalist. You know, it's not some military or somebody else or a technical person who actually invented this. It's somebody who saw this is an issue. And secondly, you see the whole presentation here is very clear-cut, very simple, very focused. So they chose something, said this is a clear issue. Is this photo or video, is it true or false? Very simple set, but behind that is quite a bit of artificial intelligence, of course, to find that out. So I think, and it actually addresses a problem, because as a commander, we talked about the scenario. You get all this information, and is it correct what you get? And if you can actually get information in real time, whether it's correct or not correct, and it can be filtered out, it really is a tremendous value at that moment. So that's, I think, that made it a very, very strong proposal. Well, you know, they get all the attention now, but of course that's classified.
Second classified.